Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are looking at, look at that silhouette, Rio Blast from Mattel's Masters of the Universe Origins line. He was another Mattel Creations exclusive, and as I have said, I'm very happy with my Origins collection. I am happy that it's continuing on in any form, and I'll tell you right now, most of them I did not buy at brick and mortar. Most of mine came from Big Bad. It was easier to collect than the 2002 line, which I was as all in on as I could be, and it was hard to collect that line. But just the sheer variety of offerings in the Origins line has made it one of my favorite. I still consider it a retail line because I have seen most of the releases at retail. Not maybe enough. I'll phrase it this way. I have seen enough releases at retail to consider it a successful retail line. And I just think it's the most successful one maybe since the year 2000 in what they have offered. Now, obviously, the internet played a large role in it, but it still, at its foundation, was a brick and mortar retail line. But it continues on now by offerings from time to time on Mattel Creations, and then exclusives that you can generally wait to hit clearance at Walmart, which is not something I encourage, but I gotta tell you, we entered into this phase with the line that was like, oops, all Snake Men. And it really frustrated me because I just don't need that many Snake Men, especially ones that are only in some of the art books and stuff. I don't mind getting obscure, weird characters. Like I reviewed the Horde Sketchbook 2-pack last week. That's fine because those are something different and interesting to put on my shelf. But once you're getting into all of these Kit Bash Snake Men that are very samey, and that have no lore, it just got very uninteresting. So there were some Snake Men that I skipped, and even the Horde Prime Trooper or whatever it is, because I really didn't know what that was either. And you're talking to a guy who has the Dark Horse books on his bookshelf. But if it's somebody that I have to look up, I'm not going to put a priority on getting them. But fortunately, the Necroconda and the Horde Prime Trooper went down to clearance at Walmart, and I was like, okay, I'll pay clearance for them. That's fine. So today we're looking at Rio Blast, the improbable space cowboy from Masters of the Universe, who space cowboys were a thing. There was Brave Star and there was Rio Blast. And then I also, in a weird way, kind of put him on the same level as Fast Draw from G.I. Joe. I realized completely different archetypes here, but I'm also looking at how gruesome it is that they're actually depicting these blasters as mounted through his hands. Because I know, as I was unboxing it, I noticed that I do not have an original Rio Blast. I do have the Classics Rio Blast, which I love. Although there are a couple of issues I took with it. If you want to go back and find my review on the old Needless Things website, that I don't think is even up anymore, so maybe not. I need to figure out a way to republish all that stuff, or at least all my action figure reviews. So this is great and different. Typically we have these line drawings that tell us how the figures come apart, because all the Origins figures, pop up, or most of the Origins figures pop apart at the shoulders or whatever. But in this case, we have something telling us how Rio Blast's backpack accessory works, which I think is fun. It's something a little different. I have saved every single one of these from all of the Origins figures that have included them. We've got a mini comic that will explain something about Star Marshal Rio Blast. I love Star Marshal. That's great. Well, here, we'll flip through real quick just so you can see. All these mini comics have been great. They've been interesting new takes on the lore. Great art. Great writing. Who is this? Oh, look, they're more Star Marshals. Oh, now see, You want to talk about obscure characters that you can produce if you want to. All of these in the back here, I will buy figures of those before I'll buy any more Snake Men. Let's go. Or this green, okay, I'll take a green Horde Trooper with a giant snot bubble. Glug, blog, bloop. Let's go with that one too. And there's always fun stuff like that in these mini comics. Yeah, I'll take more Star Marshals for sure. All right. But before that, we have to discuss this Star Marshal Rio Blast. His name is Rio, and he dances on the sand. Do we only have one little tabby thing? That's bizarre. I mean, it's a relief, but it's strange. Let's get one of those things just on a wrist there. All right, we're good. Imagine that job. Being the they're on the ankles too, just couldn't see them. Imagine being the guy whose job it is to determine how many little tabby things each figure has to have. So, relatively, oh man, look at this. Oh, I love this design. So cool. So, our Space Cowboy, pop that back into place on his wrist. Hopefully, it will pop back into place. Might have to heat it up a little bit to get it in there snug. Yeah, this one's in there pretty good. Well, now this one seems to be. All right, cool. Good as it needs to be. He's got an interesting sort of baby face. Like, it looks like a little kid with a mustache. Look at those blue eyes. Shooter's eyes, Stephen King would call them. I wonder if his arms... No, I didn't think they would, because one, you've got these hoses that are attaching to the body, and then you'll also have, look at that. Oh man, and look at all the detailing inside, all the circuitry and everything. What a nice touch. Now, is that, I was wondering if this might slide out a little bit or something, but it doesn't appear to. That's great. And then these, which rotate back up into his forearms. Oh, look, the circuitry detailed there as well. This is so, you know, there are a lot of different ways that toy companies have, here's the toy you grew up with, but here's what you wanted it to look like. Like in this instance, with all the added articulation and some of the extra paint detail. That hose popped out there. Look at this. Got those thigh blasters too. And again, that circuitry and everything detailed where they're concealed. Got sort of a cowboy boot look going on there. So he's got a swivel. Interesting. So he's got the standard boot top swivel, but just a different height. Like this calf piece, you know, normally it goes down to about here. So he's got lots of new tooling on this fit. Well, all. I would say other than the biceps, this is all new tooling on this guy, which is good justification for making a Mattel Creations exclusive, even though they seem to be doing that with a lot of the characters now. He in particular, who was standard, he was $20, which is the regular figure price on Creations now. So it didn't cost any extra, but it's understandable that he was a bit of a exclusive in that way. All the colors are great and vibrant and appropriately 80s cowboyish, I guess, for lack of a better term. I know he doesn't have a hat, and I know it wouldn't make sense for him to have a hat because of the way his backpack works, which we'll look at in just a second. But I wish he had a hat. So those go back up into place, and he's got wrist articulation, like all of the Origins figures, so you can kind of turn those hands in just a little bit and get those tucked into those notches. But nobody is posing him on his shelf without those things extended. I wouldn't think. I'm going to have him full on. Well, we'll look at it in a minute. Okay, so now we got to put this backpack on. And you can see it goes in with a tilt. And then you click it into place. And he's got his backpack. Lots of great sculpted detail on that. And then the blast part slides up. Oh, and it does click into place. Just love all that detail. And then that slides down and turns into a helmet with a rangefinder. This guy is an unstoppable laser machine. I don't know if I'll display him like this because I hate to cover that portrait up. But at the same time, like, if you have this guy all guns out on the offense, look at all that weaponry. He is an unstoppable force. He is a marshal. I kind of wish he had a Timothy Oliphant portrait. Maybe if Mattel gets... decides to use their Brave Star. Well, see, I don't... Yeah, Mattel would still own that license, right? I'm aware that Ramen Toys did a line of Brave Star, or is doing Brave Star figures, or Space Marshal figures, or whatever. But if Mattel does them, first of all, I would hope they do him in Origins style and in Masterverse style. But if they do a Brave Star, well, no, because he needs to be Native American. So no, he should not have Timothy Oliphant's portrait. So, to get back on track, and hopefully someday I'll be reviewing an Attack Track, but to get back on track, he's great. Rio Blast is great. I don't think I could be any happier with him as an Origins figure. Everything works very nicely. Everything looks great, color and sculpt-wise. The backpack functionality, the way everything clicks, because it clicks into place at the bottom here as well. So the way that works is fantastic. Everything sort of snaps back into place so it doesn't feel like loose. And there he is. Star Marshal Rio Blast. He is awesome. Super happy with this guy. Glad to have him. And again, because of the colors, he's going to stand out on the shelf, and shelves full of bright, various colors. He is going to be a standout. And that's another thing that I love about the Origins line, is how they manage to make every new character feel significant and special. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about needless things. And until next time, buy what you like, partner.
Smash that like button if you like needless things.